We're all here because we loved Red. She changed our lives. She made a major difference in mine, in the work that I do and the direction that I've taken my company. But I think the most important thing is the way in which I interacted with her as a friend. It's been told that she's truly a visionary, which I believe wholeheartedly. She was a woman on a mission, and I wanted to tag along with her on that ride. And so I'll share with you some of the things that Red really loved, but I'm going to just mention a couple that many of you know she disliked. She disliked noisy restaurants. She disliked so-called smartphones. She wasn't really great at figuring out a new computer that she would get. It's amazing what a big change she's made in the world of technology as a person who really hated technology. She very much didn't like guys who didn't treat women well. Many of you know that. She really hated bellmen that tried to grab her bags and help her. And she especially disliked anything that had to do with ageism. But I'm going to stick with the things that she loved. Red was truly a New York intellectual. She loved music. When I went to her house in the Hamptons, she was always playing Mitsuko Yoshida and the Mozart sonatas. She loved going to hear Bach and see Neville Marriner perform at St. Martin's in the Fields in London. A huge fan of Ella Fitzgerald and Louis. She was always reading. Red was a true fanatic with the New York Times, particularly on Sunday. She loved Philip Roth. He kept always writing new books that seemed to be on her table always. And she loved something that I found quite interesting, books about the brain. She was incredibly curious. She loved art films, particularly foreign films, documentaries, films like The Conformist. I think Red was a true romantic. Red loved major cities. She loved going to see Titian at the National Gallery or Fra Angelica at the Abbey at San Marco. She loved people who supported the arts. She loved creative people. Red loved New York. Red loved architecture and design. She loved buildings and churches like Notre Dame and Beauvais Cathedral. She loved unique homes and design and fashion. She loved Apple, although she cursed a lot at hers. She loved Prada and she loved Jill Sanders. She loved to travel, particularly to Italy, to Tuscany, where she spent a lot of summers with her kids, to France and England. She loved gardening in the back of her house with her hat on. She loved her house in the Hamptons sometimes, but she loved walks on the beach all the time. She loved her friends. I met her through Muriel Cooper, and she was another great inspiration in my career. She loved her kids, as was mentioned many times, and particularly her grandkids. She loved all her students, and she loved the alumni, the students who wound up somewhere in the world doing all the great things that are happening. I taught for 3 semesters, and I watched the students go off and do great things. Red loved men. She missed a lot of she missed a close relationship toward the end of her life, having one, that is. Red loved her hair colorist. But most of all, Red truly loved her independence. Thank you.